Huascarán. Huascarán or Mataraju is a mountain in the Peruvian province of Yungay, Ancash Department, situated in the Cordillera Blanca range of the western Andes. The highest southern summit of Huascarán, Huascarán Sur, is the highest point in Peru, the northern part of Andes, north of Lake Titicaca, and in all of the Earth's tropics. Huascarán is the fourth highest mountain in the Western Hemisphere in South America after Aconcagua, Ojos del Salado, and Monte Pissis. Name. Until the 20th century, the mountain lacked a single commonly accepted name, but it was rather known by different names within the surrounding towns and villages. The first recorded mention of the name Huascarán appeared in 1850 as Huascan, name given by the local people likely because the mountain rises above the village of Huasco, Huasco getting its name from the Quechua word for rope, Huasca, name popularized by Antonio Raimondi, a famous historical figure in Peru. At the beginning of the 20th century, the name appeared as Huascarán, a form which has not since changed. It seems that the name Huascarán is merely a contraction of Huasco Urán. When the mountain was mentioned, it was thought of in connection with the village and was called Huasco Urán or beyond and down from the village of Huasco. Other names given to the mountain were Matarau and Mataraju, Mataraju being the name by which the local indigenous inhabitants prefer to call the mountain, from Ancash Quechua Mata, twin, and Rahu, snow peak, meaning twin snow peaks. Geography. The mountain has two distinct summits, the higher being the south one, Huascarán Sur, with an elevation of 6,768 meters, 22,205 feet. The north summit, Huascarán Norte, has an elevation of 6,654 meters, 21,831 feet. The two summits are separated by a saddle, called Garganta. The core of Huascarán, like much of the Cordillera Blanca, consists of Cenozoic air granite. Huascarán gives its name to Huascarán National Park which surrounds it, and is a popular location for trekking and mountaineering. The Huascarán summit is one of the points on the Earth's surface farthest from the Earth's center, closely behind the farthest point, Chimborazo in Ecuador. The summit of Huascarán is the place on Earth with the smallest gravitational force. Climbing. Huascarán is normally climbed from the village of Mucho to the west via a high camp in the col that separates the two summits, known as La Garganta. The ascent normally takes 5 to 7 days, the main difficulties being the large crevasses that often block the route. The normal route is of moderate difficulty and rated between PD and 80, depending on the conditions of the mountain, according to the International French Adjectival System. On July 20, 2016, 9 climbers were caught in an avalanche on Huascarán's normal route at approximately 5,800 meters, 19,000 feet, 4 of whom died. History. The summit of Huascarán Sur was first reached on July 20, 1932 by a joint German-Austrian expedition. The team followed what would become later the normal route, named today Garganta Route. The North Peak, Huascarán Norte, had previously been climbed on September 2, 1908 by a U.S. expedition that included Annie Smith Peck, albeit this first ascent is somewhat disputed. In 1989, a group of 8 amateur mountaineers, the Social Climbers, held what was recognized by the Guinness Book of Records, 1990 edition, to be the world's highest dinner party on top of the mountain, as documented by Chris Darwin and John Amy in their book The Social Climbers, and raised £10,000 for charity. Huascarán Norte. Apart from the normal route, climbed in 1908 and rated PD+/A.D, all the other routes are committing and serious. Northwest Ridge, Italian route, rated ED1 ED2 climbed on July 25, 1974 by E.D. Tomasi, C. Piazzo, D. Saturn and T. Vidun. Northwest Face, Polish Czech variant, rated ED1 ED2, climbed on July 14, 1985 by B. Danielkova, Z. Hoffmanova, A. Kaploniak, E. Parnichko and E. Szczesniak. North Face, Paragat route, rated ED1, climbed on July 10, 1966 by R. Paragat, R. Jacob, C. Jaku and D. Leprance. North Face, Swiss route, rated ED2+, climbed on May 23, 1986 by D. Anker and K. Sauer. This route requires at least 4 days on the face. North Face, Spanish route, rated ED2+, climbed on July 20, 1983 by J. Moreno, C. Vias and J. Thomas. Huascarán Sur. As for the south summit, apart from the normal route all the others are difficult. West Ridge, Shield route, rated D+, climbed on June 15, 1969 by W. Broda, S. Merler and B. Seger. Approaches for the Garganta route, but after the route develops over the Knife Edge West Ridge before getting to the summit icefield. West Ridge Direct, Lomo Fino route, rated TD, was climbed on July 7, 2007 by M. Ibarra and S. Sperano. Approaches for the Garganta route, but after the route develops straight over the west face. Northeast Ridge, Spanish route, rated TD+, was climbed on July 18, 1961 by F. Mautino, P. Acuna, A. Perez and S. Rivas. The route starts from Chapacalquical, takes across the upper part of the Mataraju Glacier and reaches the northeast ridge, developing across cornices and snow mushrooms. 1970 earthquake. On May 31, 1970, the Ancash earthquake caused a substantial part of the north side of the mountain to collapse in an avalanche with an estimated 80 million cubic meters, 2.8 billion cubic feet, of ice, mud and rock, measured about 0.8 by 1.6 kilometers, half a mile times 1 mile. It advanced about 18 kilometers, 11 miles, at an average speed of 280 to 335 kilometers per hour, 175 to 210 miles per hour, burying the towns of Yungay and Ranararca under ice and rock, killing more than 20,000 people. At least 20,000 people were also killed in Huaraz, site of a 1941 avalanche, see Palcacoco Lake. Estimates suggest that the earthquake killed over 66,000 people. The final toll was 67,000 dead and 800,000 homeless, making this the worst earthquake-induced disaster in the Western Hemisphere. Also buried by an avalanche was a Czechoslovak mountaineering team, none of whose 15 members were ever seen again. This and other earthquake-induced avalanche events are often described evocatively as eruptions of Wascoron, despite not being of volcanic origin. An earlier avalanche on January 10, 1962, caused by a rapid rise in temperature, killed an estimated 4,000 people,